Our word for today is a verb, regulate, regulate. The definition of regulate is to control or supervise something by means of laws or rules. For example, governments can regulate policy by creating new laws. The EU has made new laws to regulate imports from China. Our word for today is a noun, currency. Currency. The definition of currency is a system of money or the bills and coins themselves used in a particular country. For example, the dollar is the currency of the USA. The value of a currency is determined by the exchange rate. Our term for today is a compound noun, interest rate. Interest rate. The definition of interest rate is the cost of borrowing money over a period of time, or the price that lenders charge borrowers for the use of the lender's money. For example, small businesses usually have to pay higher interest rates on their loans. House prices tend to fall when interest rates rise because it becomes more expensive to borrow money. Our term for today is a compound noun, exchange rate. Exchange rate. The definition of exchange rate is the value of one currency against the currency of another country. For example, if the euro-dollar exchange rate remains at its current level, U.S. exporters could lose billions in business. China is under pressure to make its exchange rate more flexible. Our term for today is a compound noun, central bank. Central bank. The definition of central bank is a national bank that provides financial and banking services for its country's government and commercial banking system. For example, Sweden's central bank regulates their government's monetary policy and issues currency. The European Central Bank raised interest rates by 0.25% last month. Our term for today is a compound noun, monetary policy. Monetary policy. The definition of monetary policy is the way a central bank controls the amount of money in the economy at a particular time. For example, by changing interest rates. Unless the Bank of England relaxes monetary policy and makes borrowing easier, the stock market is unlikely to improve. The Bank of Canada carries out monetary policy mainly through changes in the interest rate. Our word for today is a verb, fluctuate. Fluctuate. The definition of fluctuate is the irregular rise and fall of a number or amount. For example, trade with other countries tends to fluctuate from year to year. The euro-dollar exchange rate fluctuates according to the condition of the economy. Our next word is speculate. Speculate. The definition of speculate is to buy goods, shares, property, etc., in the hope that their value will increase so that they can be sold for a profit. For example, many individuals are now speculating on the Asian stock exchanges. A derivative of speculate is speculation. For example, speculation by investors has helped to increase the price of oil. Our next word is inflation. Inflation. Inflation is a noun. The definition of inflation is a general increase in the price of goods and services and a fall in the relative value of money. For example, fears of inflation have led the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates by a quarter point. Collocations. We often talk about the rate of inflation, or the inflation rate. This is the percentage increase in prices over a given period of time. The inflation rate in Brazil was around 7% last year. Our next word is basis point. Basis point, or sometimes just points. The definition of basis point is a unit of measure used in the financial world to describe the percentage change in the value or rate of a financial instrument. For example, the Federal Reserve Board raised interest rates by 25 basis points to help control inflation. Bond yields increased by 20 points from 7.45% to 7.65%.